critical is it that, again, guys have accepted a role that they're just not used to playing all the time?
Yeah, I mean, that's the message from day one, is that this is not the NBA. This is FIBA. We're going to need all 12. It's going to be a different guy every night. Tonight, Paolo came off the bench and was amazing, knocking down a couple of threes, but also the physicality, the shot blocks. But the whole second unit really came in and righted the ship after that slow start. But we feel good about that. Every game that we've had, that whole group with Austin and Tyrese and the ball movement, the change in pace that we have with that group, it's really fun to watch.
Jeff Arnold, Jeff Lloyd.
Steve, did you consider making a lineup change at halftime? Right. And then I want to know about the pregame. It just seemed like everything was off a little from what time you guys came out, from the picture. I'm just wondering if that had anything to do with this.
I did not consider a lineup change at halftime. This was sort of a typical first game. Whether it's FIBA or the NCAA tournament, that you get the first game jitters. And, one of the things that we've talked to our team about a little bit is how excited everybody else is going to be playing against us. And New Zealand came out and hit us in the mouth, and they were great. And that's good. It's good for us to feel. The other stuff, as far as the pregame photo and all that stuff, I mean, that's just part of the pomp and circumstance, so you get that out of the way and you move on to the next game.
Okay, right here.
Hey Austin, Nico from Slam Philippines. So by far you heard the loudest welcome out of anybody that played today, considering you're playing with some of the brightest names, some of the more famous names in all of basketball on your team. Was that something that you expected coming here? Did someone tip you off that this is, by extension, Lakers country, and that the zip code here is the same zip code as LA? What was your expectation coming into today, and your reaction when you heard that roar?
Yeah, I kind of seen it coming. I was talking to Phil Handy, and he was telling me that, they love the Lakers out here. So I kind of seen it coming, and then just, it's special for me. I'm, from a super small town, obviously. Didn't really, not a lot of people expected me to be here. Represent our country, so for them to accept me the way that they accept me, means a lot to me.
Okay, the man in the colorful shirt back here, next to the camera, you see him? Raise your hand, please. There you go. Get him a microphone.
Coach, congratulations on great win. This is Armando Valadez from Mexicali, Mexico, Canal 66. We always wonder, Coach, playing in FIBA, is there a big difference between the FIBA way of playing ball and the way we're used to in the USA? What are your thoughts about that?
Yes, very different game. The rules are different. The interpretations of rules are different. The physicality, and then of course, it's eight minutes shorter. There's a lot of different aspects to FIBA, and that was part of the focus for the first 2 weeks of practice with these guys, was trying to help them, understand the differences between the NBA and FIBA. So we're still learning those differences, and we'll still, learn each game, and we'll get a better feel for everything. But I love the way these guys have responded and started to figure out, the flow of the FIBA game compared to the NBA.
Go ahead, you got it. You got the mic.
John Mark Garcia from Spin.ph. So Austin, an early part of your career, the stages you get to play at grow bigger and bigger. So how much are you embracing the bigger responsibilities as well that come along with it for you as a young player and a rising star in the league?
I love it. That's what you play for. Every kid, wants to, be at this stage. And, I was one of those kids, watching the World Cup, the Olympics. So, it's every day I wake up and, I cherish those moments and I don't take them for granted. But, every day, I get to play with, this much talent. It makes it easy for me, just because, everybody's selfless. There's no egos on the team. And yeah, it's been real fun for me.
Right here, in the green shirt. Yep.
Yeah, Adele Estudillo from Sportskeeda. Coach, another question for you. Do you feel like your team's age will become a detrimental factor as you guys progress in the World Cup?
No, not at all. I love watching these guys grow, but it's not like they're untested. This guy kicked our butt in the playoffs, a few months ago. He may be young, Paolo may be young. You go down the list, we've got some young guys, but we've got guys who can play and who have proven it, in the NBA playoffs. They're fearless. I love watching them play, and it's been an absolute joy to coach them just because of their eagerness to play together and to be selfless and to compete. So it's really been a lot of fun to coach them, and I have great confidence in them.
Jake Fisher with Yahoo Sports. Austin, you played in a lot of multi-guard lineups with the Lakers this season, but that third quarter when things broke open, it seemed like you and Tyrese playing off of each other in the open floor. You guys seem to have like a zippy synergy playing off one another. Is that something that you feel particularly next to him in those moments in those bench lineups?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of how we've played this whole time since we started. That second unit, really, likes to get out run. And that starts on the defensive end. So the intensity's got to be super high on that end. And once we have that, it kind of makes the game easy because we're able to play in transition. So like I said, playing with these guys, it makes my life really easy because, you just got to play the game the right way because, like I said, the egos are non-existent.
Okay, John.
John McCall of Radyo Pilipinas Sports. Congratulations on the win. Question for Coach and Austin. Was there anything that you discovered about this team that maybe you haven't noticed in the last 3 weeks or so?
About our team?
Yeah.
No, but I think each game is a great experience for us, just to get more accustomed to the FIBA game and the rules. And 5 fouls instead of 6 is a really big deal. McHale got into foul trouble in the first half, JJ, early in the second half. So each game that we play, we kind of get a feeling for the differences in the game and what we're going to have to do, to be successful.
Basically the same. Every day we get to, lace them up and play against other opponents. It's different from practice. Practices have been going really good. And, we've learned to, play with one another, every day. But when you get in those game-like, scenarios, that intensifies. Like, you have to, rely on one another. So that's really the main thing is, learning really how to play with one another.
Okay.
Coach, Joe Virai from SB Nation. Coach, you guys seem comfortable switching your bigs out on the perimeter.
Where am I looking? I'm sorry.
Sorry, right here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hi, Coach. You guys seem comfortable switching your bigs out on the perimeter, having Paolo, having Jaren out there guarding quicker guards, and they've done a pretty good job. But in terms of having your guards switch out on the back line and with those mismatches and against more physical, bigger men, that wasn't much of a concern today, but are you concerned about better teams trying to exploit that?
Well, that's always the the equation. As coaches, you have to factor in all these things when you decide what scheme to play, whether you're switching or dropping or whatever. You look at the opponent, you figure out what you need to do to win that game. Some things you live with, you kind of go into every game and figure out what are you willing to live with versus, non-negotiables. And we kind of base our defensive coverages on those thoughts.
Okay, right there, from Poland.
Coach, Karol Siwa from Poland. Question about your coaching staff, yourself, Coach Spo, Coach Lou, one of the greatest coaches in the NBA right now. Can you take us through the process? How do you guys cooperate, coexist, and complement each other during practices, games, huddles, and timeouts?
Yeah, I mean, these guys are amazing to coach with Mark Few and Spo and Ty. All three of them immediately said yes when I called them, to ask them if they wanted to be on the staff. And it's pretty amazing for me to be able to lean on them, you know, and to turn to one of them to run a drill or to talk to the team or to decide on a scheme or suggest a play. These guys are all world-class coaches, so I think part of the experience for me as a coach is not only to coach, you know, these young great players like Austin and his teammates, but also to coach, you know, with this staff. And I think we all learn from each other, and we all have a lot of fun together. So it's a great vibe.
Okay, listen, thank you very much for coming. Thank you, guys. That's it.